Hi, it's Tony Grebmeier. Thanks so much for joining us. Excited for you to be a part of Flip the Switch as we head into a brand new year. That's right, 2021. And recently had a nice conversation with several individuals and a bunch of participants. And here is the best of Amber Spears. What is something you noticed about yourself in 2020?
Thanks, Tony. I mean, you knew I was gonna say it was you. You're a big part of my 2020, and thanks for having me here. I love having a big brother that I've never had, and just so grateful for you. Um, yeah, I mean, I was listening to everybody else. There's so many things that you guys experienced that I went through, so I don't want to. I don't want to kind of copy, but I do think that some of the things that I realized in 2020, number one of the biggest things, I have three things, but the first thing is, I came from a really difficult background. I think some people know this about me, some people don't. A very abusive father, physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually abused all of us. We moved around 27 times when I was 13. I went to 4 high schools in 4 years. I was in a group home for 2 years. I've had all these things happen. And once I went out on my own, I was like, I'm on my own now. Like, I'm not going to let this shit dictate my life. And so I just kept driving and driving and driving. And I didn't want to be one of those people. I was like, oh, I'm like this because of my background. And I realized when my former partner died last year that that was not true, that there was so much of my background that was still really affecting me. It was affecting how I saw the world. It was affecting how I interacted. Like, a few quick examples, like, I'm really good at helping others and I struggle to receive. When Nick was talking, I was like, oh, it's a product of my background. I was always helping, because the more I helped and soothed what was happening in my household, the less drama and chaos I thought would come up from that, right? So got very good at listening to other people's needs and not really listening to my own. And when my partner died, it was like, holy shit, like, I need to pour into myself because I'm going to die. Literally, I was suicidal, I was lost, and I really started pouring into myself, and I started realizing how much of my background and how much of my learned behaviors were really, really not working anymore. They worked well when I was a child because I'm here, but I needed to add new tools and really look at these things, look at how I was freezing and procrastinating and overextending and all these things for approval and for things that I felt like I needed. And it's been a big year of unlearning and examining closely a lot of my beliefs. And I would encourage you to really look at that in your own self. And you don't have to have a trauma like mine. I never, I hear people like, oh God, I could, I don't have a background like yours. My stuff's not that bad. Like, everybody's stuff sucks. We are all given what we can bear. So I would just examine things that are coming up and popping up in your life and see, like, where did I first learn that? Where did I first think that that was okay? So that's my first thing. My second thing is, not being good at something is no longer an excuse. So, like, I'm not great with taxes, and I like to say I'm great at making money. I'm good at saving it, but I'm really bad at figuring out how to invest. That's not an excuse anymore. I need to really dig into that. And that's one thing that I started doing this year is, like, I wasn't good at receiving. It took a lot for me to say yes to talking to Tony every day. Right. But I did it because, one, I needed to, two, like, I needed to get better at receiving. And he poured so much into me. I see what a gift that was. There's so many things with my life that I've been just pushing off. I'm like, I'm not a math person. Like, I'm not going to do that. That's not true. Really needing to dig into that. And part of it was, some of that was really from destroying excuses, but I would just encourage you to look at what you're doing and say, okay, I may not be good at it, but it probably could be because I don't give myself enough practice. In my company and in my personal life, I'm the cleanup person, right? Like, when there's a problem, flights get, canceled, a vendor's upset, something happens, they always send me in, It's like, oh, Amber, you're so good at this stuff. You're so good at, navigating people. No, I have the most practice at it. That's why I'm good at it. And just really looking at, what you're doing and saying, I'm going to take responsibility to figure out, maybe I'll never be amazing at it, but I'm going to get better at it. And I think that's the other thing that I learned. And then the last thing that I would say, just from a professional standpoint, is, if you're a business owner, like, there were so many things that I was so resistant to before COVID. Like, you could typically only work with me and my team for $10,000 a month or above, or at least a $10,000 investment, to do some of our like workshops. And that was because I wanted to pour so much of myself in and give so much one-on-one. And I didn't feel like I could do anything with a group setting. And I also kept hearing from all my friends how important continuity is, membership continuity, and recurring residual income, which we did not have built into the company. And when COVID hit, we rolled out a thing called Traffic Tribe, which is a monthly networking, basically mastermind membership for people wanting to grow their affiliate revenue. And we built such an amazing community. It was outside of my skill set. And that has been the best thing for us for 2020 and for 2021, because it's built stability into our company in a way that we can now make decisions to serve our clients better, and also to know that we can serve in a group setting, not just one-on-one. It's been so transformative for any business owners on the call. Like, I would just encourage you to figure out, one, how to tackle the things that you've always wanted to do, but just felt like were maybe outside of your business model, your skill set, because we learned a whole new skill set as a team. And the second thing would be to look at where you can add in like recurring revenue, because it's been such a game changer. It's safety and security in such a big way that I never gave myself for the first 4 years of our business. So those are my takeaways. And I'm just really grateful to everyone on the call for being here today and for investing time, and also for Tony to put this together. I'm just really grateful to be here.
Amber Spears, what do you do on a daily basis that will help you moving forward in 2021?
First, I just want to just talk about Kevin and your chunking thing really quick, because this was a big takeaway for me. Kevin was so generous as to actually let us see his calendar. I'm a very visual person. And what I realized in seeing his calendar, which was a big takeaway for me, is not only does Kevin block a chunk of time out, like let's say that he's like, for me, one of my chunks would be content creation, right? So I have been chunking things, but seeing Kevin's calendar, I realized what I was missing in the chunks is, when you chunk something out, don't just say content calendar, put inside of that chunk the things that you're going to accomplish in that chunk of time. That's what I was missing. And I think that's a really important thing. It's like your to-do list of the chunk of time is inside your chunk blocks.
Right.
So
Right.
like, just want to just tell you that like little thing, because that was a game changer for me. And just real tactical things. I know we're kind of running down, but the first thing is, what's worked for me so much this year is, when I wake up, first thing that I do is brush my teeth, and then I go for a walk. I go outside 10 minutes usually. Sometimes it's 20, 30, but usually it's just 10. And I listen to Mary Morrissey morning meditation, or Jim Rohn or something, just because I think it's so important to, one, let my body know that I'm really awake, and two, fill my mind with something really positive that really helps me. And that's been a big game changer for me. So I would recommend to try that. The second thing would be to get a therapist. We're in an industry where there's a lot of coaches and a lot of like spiritual healers and a lot of like people like that. And I use all of people like that, but they are not, number one, HIPAA certified or compliant. And number two, they haven't devoted their entire lives going to school. And there's actually something to be said for people who have invested time, energy, and effort into really understanding human psychology and the mind. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to have a therapist, not a coach, not an energy healer, not a thought leader, not a mentor, a therapist, because all those other people are very important and they are going to help you tremendously in that way. But having a therapist, someone who is non-biased, does not know anyone in your industry, has the tools to help you move through some of those things, has been invaluable. I spent a lot of time going away from therapy and going and getting the other things, but now I have the therapist, the mentors, the coaches, and that's the ticket. That's what's really getting me moving in every area of my life, moving in my business, moving in, everything. Is I recommend it highly. Get a therapist and speak to them on a regular basis. I talk to mine once a week. Some people can talk to them less, but at least once a month, I would recommend. And then use a journal like Tony's. Tony's has been the thing that has, and he calls it a journal, but it's really a journal / planner / blueprint for your day, and something to keep you organized in that way. And of course, the chunking thing that Kevin has taught has been awesome. I would just recommend that. So those are just kind of some quick things that I would say.
Thanks for joining us today at Flip the Switch. To learn more, visit fliptheswitch.com, download the worksheet, and you can participate yourself. Until next time, go make today the absolute best day of your life.